can't let go.
Hello, everyone. Are you ready to go back to Long Talk just a little bit? So I introduced the Wii video, as you saw at the beginning, and this panel is really great because it is powered by Wii. You're going to have fan questions from Wii. First, let's talk to our guests a little bit, huh? So, True Blood, we said goodbye this summer. And I feel like the cast has been like this great big family. What's it like coming back together and seeing each other again?
I felt a bit left out that Tara and Kristin both had drinks when they were coming on, so Kristin gave me an empty cup just to make me feel at home. Biblical jobs happening in the desert, and we were all staying in the same hotel. So at any one point, there was 36 disciples around the pool. There were 3 different Jesuses. So there was one kind of really happy Jesus because he was really excited about this job and it was one of his first jobs. So we called him Bouncy Jesus. And then there was another one taking it really seriously and only eating what Jesus would have eaten, like nuts and fruit. So we called him Mango Jesus. And then there was Skinny Jesus. And then there was another one who actually went off into the desert and did 4 days and 4 nights by himself in the desert, who we called Method Jesus. So every time we'd go, you know, there'd be moments where we'd all be sitting around having coffee and somebody would go, oh God, here comes Bouncy Jesus. Hi, hey! What did you do today? I got crucified! It was so much fun! And so it became this hilarious, like members club in the desert. It was like a Soho house in the desert.
Bearded men everywhere.
Lots of bearded men.
Yeah.
And a couple of bearded ladies too. It was a lot of fun.
Fantastic. Kristin and Tara, what have you been doing while you've been hanging out with Jesus since?
I've been in a colder climate. I was in Vancouver working and loved it. Got to see the leaves change and a little bit of fall. So that to me was incredible being a Californian. It's so good to get out of the city and see a different climate. So that's what I've been up to. Yeah. I've been doing my usual acting, multitasking with animal rights things and some appearances, and I'm working
Saving
on,
the world.
I'm trying to save the world one elephant at a time, and so thank you. And I'm starting back on Once Upon a Time, so I'm going up to and I'm excited to be Maleficent again.
Clearly we all are. All right, why don't we jump to our questions from Wii, if we can. So what happened earlier this week is I had sent out a Wii asking for True Blood fans to send their questions for me. And there was a huge response. Unfortunately, I can't answer all of them, but we have some of the best. Let's jump to the first one. She says, how have your lives changed since the show ended?
I'm a bit more rested.
My beard's a lot grayer.
It's so cute. You look so good.
Shut up.
I love it.
Stop it.
Well, it's actually quite a process, I think. I'll cry as usual. But it was quite something, wrapping up this
This is
show.
all an act. If you think this is real, we have to put up with this every day. Would you like a cup of tea? Oh my God, I love wine. That's so beautiful.
I'm so sorry you like your tea. I'm gonna miss you bringing me tea. Everything was the last for me, and it just killed me. And then as time went on, and I got further from the show and seeing everybody, I was able to adjust to the idea. It's taken me a while.
It's like one day at a time without crying.
Yeah, no.
If I actually look at her for long enough, she will start crying, watch.
It has been so. It is a change, an emotional change to kind of get used to not seeing the people that you grow attached to. And it's great, life moves on and there are new jobs and new people to meet, but there was something really special about the family that was created on True Blood, and who knows if we'll ever have it again, you know, that particular vibe.
Something that happened on the show that I don't think any of us had ever experienced before was when other people would come and be on our show, they'd always say, how come everybody's so happy all the time? And we weren't aware of it. We were just in this kind of great, beautiful bubble. But it really brought it home when other people came to our show who were guesting or doing, bit parts or like a season-long arc or something like that. And they would just say, what have you guys been taking? Because it was just the most beautiful place to work and the best cast and crew I think any of us has ever worked with.
It was really special. Let's go on to question 2.
I have a question. Will there be a spin-off called New Blood, and will there be a True Blood musical?
Hi from Australia. Can we look forward to a movie, musical, or spin-off anytime in the future?
Something happened, but she's asking if there will be a movie or spin-off in the future in the Tim's question in the New Blood or the musical thing.
I'm looking at you on the musical thing. Me too.
Nathan Bauer, who wrote the music for True Blood, came to me about 3 years ago, with an idea to actually do a True Blood musical. It was never ever an intention of mine to be in it, but I recorded a couple of songs for him that he'd already written, and then he took those songs as Bill, playing Bill, and he then took those songs to Alan Ball and to Charlene Harris and to HBO, who endorsed the creation of this musical. So if it ever happens, I told him I'd have to get a percentage of the cut. But that's all I really know so far. I know that he is starting to write it, so that's that part of it.
And I know less than that about anything. I'm always the last to know. As Stephen, on the set, I'm the last person to know anything. But, if these things did happen, if we did a movie, or they did a movie, I should say, boy, that would be in the works for probably a long time before one day my manager would get a phone call, and I would, do anything to hang out with these people again. And if there's a camera there and they want to film whatever I'm doing with these guys, I'm cool with it.
I don't know if there's a plan to do it yet, but I know once upon a time Alan was very excited about the idea of the film. Obviously Alan left after season 5, so that's all we know. I'm not sure that it would ever happen. I don't know.
I think the fans need to make it happen. Yeah. I think we all would be so excited to work with each other again that it wouldn't be hard to convince us to do it. It just is a matter of, getting the project off and running and what's good.
Kickstarter. We have a third question from Aubrey.
I would like to know, what was your favorite season of all the seasons?
My favorite season would definitely have been season 7, for obvious reasons. I had an amazing time in every scene that I was in. Truly, all joking aside, the flashbacks were incredible. I loved that. I'm a fan of the show. I've been a fan of the show since season 1, and to watch it all come together, and there were so many times that I wasn't there watching things be shot, so it was a surprise for me. And then to get the scripts this season and to see how everything, there was just so much payoff and so much payoff for the fans, and to see how, particularly my character who died in the books ends up going on to actually have a great backstory and a little bit of glory. It was pretty wonderful.
Did you know when you signed up, did they sign you for more than 1 year in the first year?
No, I came on for 1 episode. 1 episode in season 1.
Tara came in episode 9 of season 1, and it was in the killing of Long Shadow, and literally we were all in hysterics all day because of her ungodly scream. And the scream was the thing that really endeared you to, or adhered you.
That's it. The scream, and then of course I threw up as well.
Yes.
There was vomit and blood and lots of screaming. I think we all couldn't believe where we were. Right?
That's our show in a nutshell.
Love at first sight. Okay, so I'm always torn on that question between my face rotting season, because that was when I first got my own storyline. And Steven and I, one of my favorite scenes the whole 7 years was with Steven. And we had such a great day together. And then I also really loved season 7. I got to be really vulnerable, really tough. We got some funny stuff. And so I have to just say 2 seasons.
I think it's so hard to pin down. That first season had a magic about it that we were allowed to do this thing. That we were doing this amazing script, and it was so much fun. And I don't think anybody, when they first read the script, realized how funny it was until we saw it back. So we were all having fun anyway, but then we saw this thing come to life, and it was hilarious, as well as being graphic and sexual and violent, and like a parallel universe and a mirror up to society and everything that, you know, made the show great. So every season, but I think one just had a kind of special something.
It was. This is going to sound crazy. We have less than 5 minutes left in this panel. So we have to move on to the last question, I'm afraid. The final question.
Hi, I was wondering what inspired you guys to do the PSAs for the Trevor Project. And Kristin's here made me cry.
That was not the final question, but it is an important one.
You know, that was a day where we had a special PR photo shoot, and I didn't actually know what the Trevor Project was. And they said, do you want to go in this room and talk to the camera? And they told me a little bit about it. And I said, yes, I do want to do that. And then I said, well, I have something in my mind that just came to my mind. And they said, just go for it. And that's what that ended up being. And I thought it was really great of our show and HBO to make us all aware of it and make it happen.
I have nothing to add because hers was the best out of all of them.
It was a really beautiful evening.
Hi, I'm Kristin Bauer, and I wanted to tell you a story that was very meaningful to me. There was a photo of something I kept on my bedstand for years that got me through the tough times. You know, there's many things in my life that have been challenging, and also this career is sort of challenging. But this was years ago, and hopefully I won't cry. But I was going through the death of a lot of friends. My dad died, my best friend killed himself, and I had taken a trip to New York City for New Year's Eve. I thought this would cheer me up. I love New York City. And I arrive and I get sick. I get the worst flu of my life, and I'm so lonely and I'm so sad. And it's that holiday time of year. And I just wanted to go home. And I just wanted to be in my house with my dogs, my cats, and something familiar. And I knew that I wasn't suicidal at that moment, but it was the closest I've ever been to, if something else happened in my life, I wasn't sure I would be able to see enough positive things to stick around. I could see the edge. And that was the first time I'd ever really had that. And so I moved my flight up to get home to my safety net, and a blizzard hit. And I got in the car to go to the airport, and we had to turn around and go back. I had no money at the time. We get back to my cheap hotel, and I say, I need my room back. And they say, sure, $400 a night. And I was going to be there for days, so I fork over the credit card. And I went up to my room, and I just cried and cried, and I was so low. And fell asleep and woke up and thought, well, I might as well, go get something to eat, I guess. And I walked outside. And this was the thing. I've never seen anything so beautiful. New York was like this magical Narnia wonderland. And people were, cross-country skiing down Fifth Avenue. And Central Park was some sort of beautiful, otherworldly thing. And I thought, I'm so lucky to have seen this. If you don't live in New York, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing that I got to see. And I took so many pictures. And I thought, you just never know what's around the corner. You just never know. And I thought to myself, just stick around and see. It gets better. And that picture was literally next to my bed until it fell apart. So that is just one of those true things in life. Stick around, it gets better. If you're feeling alone, confused, or in crisis, please call the Trevor Project at 1-866-4U-TREVOR for immediate help, or log on to thetrevorproject.org. If you want to find out ways to help create safe...
Last one for real.
And one final question. Do you guys miss the show? Because I do a lot. I miss you guys.
I miss the show.
It's a funny thing. Every year we finish in July. So this feels very normal right now to have this time off and to be with our families and to do other work. And it kind of feels like a bonus to see you guys today. But we always start back up again in December. And then we either start shooting in the 1st of December or the first, 4th or 5th of January. And I think that truthfully when that moment comes around, and we're not there, that will be the time that I'm going to be the saddest.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, because by the end of the season, we kind of need a break. And this year, of course, was...
She's going to cry. Look out for it. Watch everybody.
It's true. January will be hard.
We're going to end it on that note, but thank you so much for coming.